Good evening, everyone, and welcome to On the Rise. I'm your host, Mike Feinberg. With me, as always, David Shore. How you doing, David?
Yeah, about yourself?
I'm doing all right, man. Doing all right. We're back at it again.
Yep.
We get another Wednesday night, same time, same place type of thing. We're actually back where we were. We're not squished off in the corner. They had an event going on here last week, but we're back in action right in the exact same spot. And, we're here to talk a little bit about the event coming up. It's fast approaching. We're already crossed September now. Here we are, September 1st. September 18th is just around the corner. Next fight card is on its way. Extreme Action Park in Fort Lauderdale on Powerline Road on September 18th, a Saturday. Tickets are on sale now. You can jump on the app, RIZE FC. Check that out. Buy your tickets. Get them before they sell out. We got still 18 fights on that card. They still haven't desisted at all, so we may have a really, really jam-packed card for you. We'll have to let you know the exact start time because we may adjust just a little bit to fit in all those fights. We'll keep you updated with all that kind of stuff going on. And before we get further into it, we want to talk about our sponsor once again, Pharmacana. Pharmacana.us, Pharmacana.com. You can go to either site for any kind of CBD products that you might need. I know, David, you were talking about them a little bit last week.
To try it, the cream one is pretty awesome. I really haven't dabbled with everything else, but it's if you're definitely sore, from like bike riding or weightlifting or whatever, it definitely works.
Yeah, so.
Kind of regret not bringing it to the show, so I could have put some on. So.
Well, there you go. You might just be very mellow
I know.
at that point.
I'm about to open this up here and put it on right now.
But yeah, you see obviously there's a few products right here. Take a look at them. Anything that you might need, you can jump right on their site and check them out. Beyond that, what we're going to do is we're just going to jump over to our app real quick just to show you, what we got going with that RIZE FC, as I just mentioned. If you haven't seen it before, you will see it now, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Jason and the audio. Oh! Are excited and ready for the second bout of RIZE.
All right, and we are back, everyone. Hopefully you got a chance to look at that real quick clip of our app. Once again, just download RIZE FC either from Apple or Roku or Apple or Google Store, Google Play. You can also see our show or our events right from that app. Mm-hmm. You can see through RIZE X, you can see it through Roku, you can see through Apple TV, Fire Stick. There's several different means and ways of doing it. Just like last time, we'll have a fight or two for free. That'll be right there on the app before you have to jump over to the RIZE X side of it. Those may also be streamed on YouTube and Facebook for you, for your pleasure. Check it out. You'll find out what's going on. 16 other fight cards, probably beyond that as well. So it's a pretty stacked card.
Yeah.
We talked last week a little bit about the tournaments that are going on within the card.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about that again, David, if you could.
Basically, for 155, we have an 8-man tournament, and all 8 fighters are going to be on this card. They're all competing for money towards their gym. And it's going to be it's pretty epic. We're trying to keep it under 4 fights for each fighter, so it's fair. At least I think half of the fighters are debuts, or maybe a little under half. So it's going to be interesting. Brackets are really the way to do it with MMA, in my opinion, to see who's the best in this at that certain time. I think that's a lot better than just championship fights here or there, unless they have like really great records like Jose and Ronnie that have. I mean. The best way is brackets, and I would like to get a bracket for every weight class, and it determines who are the real rankings or holders and who's the best in the division.
Yeah, for sure. Like we talked about, the elimination side of things is the best way to go about it.
Right.
It just shows you truly, to get to that point. Mm-hmm. I know some people get left out because they may have fought the first round and beat the guy when eventually becomes the champion. So how good was that first guy?
Right.
Well, then you mix it up.
Yeah.
We find another way of doing it, just like the Olympics, how they do it with their medals.
Exactly. And the thing is, when we say debuts, these guys are still training for 2-3 years prior, at high quality UFC gyms for both like Tim and Jack. And these guys are the real deal, and they're ready and prepared to show their skills. So it's just, you never know how much experience or training one person might have.
Right, true. Yeah, we've seen some of these guys training at some of the best gyms with some of the best UFC fighters.
Right.
So you can handle those guys in a gym. You're probably going to be all right as an amateur.
Yeah.
we'll see kind of how it takes you from there. But it's a learning lesson, like you said. It's a big learning curve. You know, you make mistakes, you learn from it. It's all based on the amateurs. You know, you do all that before you go pro.
Right.
Best way to go about it. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of those fights because, as I said, we got a lot of them. We can't go through all of them now. You know, we don't have guests for you at this moment to talk about that, but what we're going to do is talk a little bit about what we do have. And you just mentioned the aforementioned fight of Ronnie Levine and Jose Gallegos.
Right.
Jose Gallegos, of course, being the #1 ranked on Tapology right now as an amateur, taking on Ronnie Levine, who's, you know, proven himself under the RIZE umbrella for quite some time. So talk a little bit about that mix-up of the fight.
Well, Jose is actually is in the military branch. So I mean, obviously, this guy takes training pretty seriously, and you know, I think he's like 8-3, #1 ranked on Tapology in Florida. You know, has a lot to show, and I'm excited to have him on our card. And we also have Ronnie Levine, who's always on our card, and he you know, takes people out in the first round. The majority of his wins were in the first round, so it's going to be interesting to see how long it'll take, you know, which round a finish might happen, or, you know, see these guys go at it. It's going to be good.
Right. We've also got Eric Lopez and Danny Castillo, so we know Eric's fought for us a couple times in the past.
Yeah, but
you know,
that's a kickboxing, so it's his debut to MMA.
Yeah,
so,
right.
It's going to be really interesting. And then I think Danny Castillo actually has a belt with another promotion, so having him coming in, you know, stepping up to Eric Lopez, and like you said, Eric Lopez has been improving, and, you know, this guy trains every day, you know, for like 9 o'clock, like 5 to 9 or something.
Right.
So, I mean, he's putting the work in, and he's looking like a tank. So, but like I said, Danny Castillo already has a belt with another promotion. He's coming in to prove his worth, and, you know, he's the type of person that wants to fight the best. You know, this guy was telling me he wants to fight a 5-1 on you know, his first fight with us. You know, so it's I like that confidence, and I'm excited to see you know, see these guys perform.
Even Eric, with his last couple of fights, I know when he fought Remy Lascano, unfortunately he fell just short of that, but it was a great fight, and a great performance. You know, he proved what he could do, and then he got that final win after the fact in his last time out with us. And yeah, he's definitely proven, you know, that he's an action fighter.
He's definitely, you know, he's the guy you want on your show. You know, he's a crowd pleaser. You know, I love his little, you know, just his whole get-up is just pretty awesome, and he just, like, he brings that energy.
So we're going to we'll jump to the ladies here for a minute. Of course, we have Ludi Alves coming back again. You know, she's proven time and time again on our card, you know, that she's capable. Sure. And you know, she trains with some of those best guys at ACG Gym. And, I mean, she's getting that kind of workout and that kind of training, and it's coming out and it's proven itself while she's in the cage.
Super dominant her last performance. I was really impressed. You know, I'm like, she looks so innocent and you know, not a big girl and stuff like that. And she comes out and performs. She's training with all these champions, you know, and awesome, you know, UFC fighters. Charles Rosa's in the same gym as her, and, you know, McCarthy also, UFC. Waggy, the wrestling coach. You know, we got Lucas Rosa too. I mean, a lot of solid people are training with her, and she's definitely, you know, turning into a super tank.
She's taken on Jonah Wood, who's new to the RIZE umbrella at this point, and I understand Jonah's, you know, I mean, she's not a joke. She has a lot of strength.
She doesn't look like a joke. I gotta hit her up for some workout routine. She's looking like a little tank too. So I mean, I'm excited to see these guys perform. I mean, they both seem really serious about their practice, and I just see her on social media. She's always, you know, posting different workouts and things of that nature. So I'm excited to see these two perform.
Gotcha. And you know, we have a show that we haven't had out for a while, which is Wanna Fight. You know, we're finally going to have an appearance of that show. It should release, I think, this Friday. And when we do have it out, you know, we'll let you know. We'll blow up social media to let you know we got it. But you should be able to watch it, and pretty much anything of our social media at all, you can check it up. You can check on YouTube and Facebook and pretty much anything else. But this particular episode of Wanna Fight is following two of the fighters that are going to be fighting on the next fight card. And that is the aforementioned Lucas Rosa, as you said, and he's taking on Israel Hernandez. And these guys have mixed it up before, but at kickboxing, right? And now we're actually doing it with MMA.
Right.
So we're going to see what other skills these guys bring. And we know Lucas got that win the last time out with kickboxing, but, you know, is it going to be a different story when he takes on Israel in MMA? So talk a little bit about, you know, the show and kind of how, give a preview of what to expect on that Wanna Fight.
Basically, we're gonna bring them both in, and you know, I believe we're going to go to each gym and discuss what's going on, go over key factors that they plan on performing and their training, and that's basically the gist of it.
Okay, so we don't give too much away.
Yeah.
We want you guys to watch it. But no, it should be a pretty exciting show.
Right.
Get to know the inner workings, like you said, what's going on in the background, to kind of get these guys prepared.
Right.
So we know it's going to be on Want to Fight, and then I think we're going to have them as guests maybe on the next show beyond that as well.
Correct, yep.
So we'll talk a little bit about how they were recorded and everything went on as they were followed, and you guys will be able to see them on September 18th mixing it up.
Right.
So definitely worth watching. Just another little facet of what things that we do here at RIZE. Gives you another view into the life of an MMA fighter. So that's kind of that's going on there. But let's talk about some other fights. I mean, you know anything else you can, off the top of your head, that you think you want to have circled on that list that seem like they'd stand out?
There's a lot of them, honestly. LJ Wilson's going to come out and perform. He's taking on, I think it's Kevin Wilkerson, who actually his last show his opponent didn't show up, so he's been preparing since the last show. And yeah, he's really excited to work with RIZE, so that should be great. Yeah, we got Nomi's fighting a kickboxing match. He's from Palm Beach Boxing, training with David Church and Eric Lopez. That should be really interesting. Actually believe, yeah. Honestly, I don't have the sheet in front of me off the top of my head. So those are
You know,
spotlights on Mike. You know,
whim.
Yeah. Was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that too. Yeah.
So that's a little preview of again what's going on. Next week we'll have some more fights for you. We'll talk a little bit about them. We'll go into more detail.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. I have a lot of. It's kind of crazy. Everyone wants to send me their training videos, so I have so much in my memory bank right now. Of we got this guy Pike, who's a Marine that's coming from Indiana, and he's going to take on another fighter. We got Darius from Goat Shed. He's going to be performing with the 155 tournament. We got a lot of guys, it's going to be really good.
Yeah, well, definitely, like I said, looking forward to that, guys. Look, it's a very packed card, very packed and stacked card. 18 fights still holding pretty steady. You definitely want to come out and watch this fight card. Again, I know we said it last time out that it was going to be one of the best cards, but we were right last time out. It was one of the best cards RIZE had. Well, we're going to say it again.
Yeah.
Because I think we're going to even get past the last card, with the action that we're going to have this time around. So worth watching. Again, for the third time in a row, we're going to have it at Extreme Action Park out there in Fort Lauderdale on Powerline Road. You're going to want to come back out there. If you haven't seen it, it's a pretty nice venue. There's a lot of things, too. If you want to bring the family out, they can all be doing some things. They can be rock climbing and going to the obstacle course and doing laser tag and go-karts and bumper cars and pretty much everything that place has to offer.
Escape room, yeah, all kinds of stuff.
There's so many things there for everybody to do. And it's nicely centrally located. If you're coming up from Miami, it's not too far of a drive. You're coming down from the north end of Palm Beach County, not far of a drive either. So pretty much within 40 minutes of anywhere, or less, of course. So it's a nice location, definitely a nice venue. You want to come out and take a look at it if you haven't seen so before. Of course, if you can't come out and you can't be there in person, you can watch it through all those platforms as we mentioned, Apple TV and Roku and Fire Stick, and our RIZE X portion of the app, the RIZE FC app. So download that. All the information's right there for you. If you want to apply to actually be a fighter with RIZE, if you want to apply to be a cage girl with RIZE, you can do that right there from the app as well. We also have tidbits and bites of previous fights, the whole fight cards. We've got individual fights. Just go on there and check it out if you haven't seen it before. And as we mentioned, it changes a lot. So there are some new things, new material that's on there if you haven't seen, you may not have seen before. So just check it out maybe on a weekly basis and you'll probably see some new things you haven't seen and find out kind of what's going on in the news with us. I know you have the social media also. You got Facebook page for these fighters if they want to kind of send in their videos and,
Right. Just RIZE Fighting, you reach out to us. And anyone that has interest in fighting, definitely let me know. There's been a real influx of fighters, so, I don't want to push anyone away, but, we're looking at another 19, 20 fights for October, so there's plenty of people. And, if you're interested, definitely reach out. But we're trying to work with the best, and we want the best people to put on the best shows.
So something interesting we want to talk about, we alluded to it just a little bit last week. We're not going to tell you everything again, but we're going to tell you a lot more than we told you last week, which is that we're going to have some giveaways, some prizes. We're going to be doing that out there for you guys, the fans. And what you want to do is you want to follow us on social media, you want to like us, you want to subscribe, you want to comment, you want to make sure that you've downloaded the RIZE FC app. It's very important to do that so we can actually put you into the drawings. And then next week we're going to draw some winners. And we're going to let you know who those are on our show next week. Just do those things. That's all you need to do. There's no specific application that you got to put on there. Just make sure that you're subscribed, that you've downloaded the app, and that you're just commenting and continuing to reach out to us. As long as you do that, you have a good chance of winning something.
Am I able to do mid-show comment or something like that? Can I enter our contest?
Yeah, I think you should do it.
Okay.
Do that.
I'm signing up.
I did that, you know, I was at an event and they were asking the whole crowd, they said, hey, who knows about boxing? I kind of stuck my hand up there, but I was media, I was in the front. He's like, oh, great, I'm going to ask you some questions and, you know, win some tickets to some future fights. I'm like, okay. He's like, wait. The person said, wait, this guy can't do that. He's here for media. Oh, you're not what? You can't do that.
That's funny.
You're not a paying customer.
That's funny.
Oh, come on, man. You asked me who liked boxing. But, yeah, so I guess we're going to have to make some rules about who can and who cannot do it.
Right.
I know that, you know, G is really looking forward to getting a couple of Dolphins tickets, but unfortunately, he can't win them because he's affiliated. Not to say his daughter can't call in and do it. You never know. You never know. But, you know, some cool stuff. We're not going to get into exactly what those prizes are going to be. You know, some things are little things, some things are not so little. But you'll definitely be able to find out the good stuff we got next week. So tune in, do that. And let's see. What we want to do is just take a quick break real quick for our DV8, which is one of our sponsors as well. On the flip side, we'll come back here and talk a little bit more about the card, and then we'll close out. We'll see you back in a minute.
This is Kerry from DV8 Motorsports. I want to welcome you to our world and give you a little insight into what we do. From the lift kits, lowering kits, custom wheels and tires, gas, diesel performance and accessories. We do it all here in-house. All of our services we offer, we install everything. Come follow us on social media, Facebook or Instagram, DV8_motorsports. Take a look at what we do, what we have to offer. We're located at 1018 North Federal Highway in Lake Park, US 1, just south of North Lake Boulevard, or you can give us a call, 561-840-2023, or shoot us an email, dv8motorsports@yahoo.com. Thanks.
All right, and we are back. Hopefully you got a chance to take a quick look at that DV8 promo. You know, for all your needs right there, you can always contact DV8 right there in Palm Beach Gardens, North Palm Beach area. As you can see right here, we're closed in on our other sponsor, Pharmacana. Again, pharmacana.us, pharmacana.com for any of your CBD needs. You see all these different products we've got laid out here. As I said, David swears by a couple and says they're really good, so he wouldn't lie to you.
It's true.
So make sure that you check out that website if you have any need for it, and I'm sure you'll find what you need. All right, so moving on with the show from there. Again, 18 fight stacked card. You know, I have to keep repeating because it's just kind of surreal. I got to talk about 19 or 20 fights maybe on the next card.
I got to bring my Red Bull, that's for sure. You know, definitely energy drinks, and you know, keep staying up after. It's going to be a good couple hours. That's why we're going to make sure that the show time, when people get there, as people are walking in, chances are there's going to be fights. You know, just to keep up with the schedule. So it's going to be slam packed from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, we're going to start you out, you know, probably at an early hour. We're going to want to get there, you know, relatively on time so that you can go ahead and see the intro fights, all the fights all throughout, because as I said, there's a tournament going on within it, so all the fights are kind of scattered everywhere. You don't know what you're really going to see until you get out there to see it. So make sure you come out, make sure you get out there early. Again, more information will be right there when you jump on RIZE FC for those ticket sales, and you'll find out exactly what we got going on there. And that's our fight card.
Yeah.
You know, one of many, many, many more that's already in the works.
Yep.
I know you said October's already going, and you know, beyond that, there'll be a November and December card as well. You know, we got 4 more fight cards this year alone. So come out, can't do it, you can always watch it and stream it. You know, we'll be out there at the commentating booth doing our thing, and you know, letting you guys know as much information as possible throughout the fights. But you'll see some of the best fighters out there, some of the best amateurs in the state of Florida and really nationwide that are going to be coming out there and fighting.
Yep.
So let's move on. Let's move on from our fight card a little bit. You know, I know we're going to talk UFC, but I know if I say UFC, you're going to go into the other thing anyway. So let me start with the other thing first. Let me start with the fight that happened between Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley.
What do you say?
I didn't watch it.
Do you say fight because it's boxing?
Well, I said fight because, well, first of all, I didn't watch it. It's not that I wasn't going to watch it. I just couldn't watch it. I was a little bit preoccupied. But I didn't see any of it, and I would have liked to have seen a lot of the prelim cards leading up to that and just sort of seen the main fight just because I was already watching. I didn't see any of it. So you tell me, because I've heard from so many people about what they thought about the fight. Tell me specifically about that particular fight, that one, Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley.
I really didn't hate it, honestly. You could tell definitely Tyron was a lot more boxing educated than most of Jake Paul's opponents, and you could tell when Woodley hit Jake Paul, didn't seem too enjoyable. You know, you can tell that I honestly, I think it kind of went towards Tyron towards the end, and also he made some good moves and whatever. But I didn't hate it. You know what I mean? I didn't hate it as much as I hate most boxing fights.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
So, yeah.
So it had some action pretty much all throughout, right?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I know you're big into boxing, but man, if Tyron Woodley would have fought Jake Paul in an MMA format, the fight would be over in less than a minute, you know?
I'm sure.
So it just feels like, you know, your hands behind your back with boxing, you know? I mean, I enjoyed it, you know, it's for what it was, you know, but, you know?
Yeah, I get you. I know you've said, you know, how much you like MMA much more than boxing because it does have, you know, many, many more aspects to it. You know, that's the thing with Jake Paul. You know, he's not fighting boxers. He's still not fighting boxers. So as much as people are jumping on the Jake Paul bandwagon, dude, fight a fighter. Fight an actual boxer, and then let me know how it goes.
Well, I mean,
if you're struggling right now with guys who don't box,
the thing is, like, when did like Floyd Mayweather start practicing boxing? You know, didn't his dad own a gym? Was he in there when he was like 3 years old with boxing gloves?
His dad and his uncle were both professionals. So.
Jake Paul was on Disney, you know. He's on YouTube with playing pranks and stuff like that. You know, it takes years and years to get acclimated to any kind of sport. You know, so and yeah, he is picking on some MMA fighters that aren't, you know, the most experienced. But I mean, Woodley looked pretty good. You know, Woodley's a tank. I know. He'd beat me in boxing any day of the week, and his wrestling is so dominant, you know, versus anyone that's a normal human being. Yeah. You know, it is what it is. Yeah, you know,
I got to give him credit, you know, Jake Paul, that is, because he's actually stepping up the competition, but he's not at the level yet where you can get excited about it. That's me. That's my opinion about that. Until he starts fighting those top-level boxers in a boxing ring, you're not proving anything to me yet. You're proving that you're trying to work towards it. At least he's not going backwards. You know, he's not going, you know, like. Celebrity boxing was like, you know, the kid from Saved by the Bell was fighting the kid from the Partridge Family. You know, you know, what's that?
Right.
So at least he's fighting athletes, and he's starting to, you know, scale up to stronger and bigger athletes with, you know, much more upper body strength, which of course is very important in boxing. So, you know, he's getting there. You know, I'm kind of ho-hum with him still, but I'm not interested in even watching the replay of the fight, honestly. I heard he won, okay, he won. But later, you know, let's see if he steps up and starts fighting some big boxers.
I think Jake Paul's saving boxing, honestly. I think it's a dying sport, and I think that, you know, it's had its run in the 90s, you know, in the 80s, and the you know, the Muhammad Ali eras and stuff like that. But, you know, I think bare knuckle boxing is way more exciting than just boxing in general. And I think, you know, even both bare knuckle boxing and boxing just kind of boring, in my opinion, unless it's like a... You know, it's cool, like a phone booth aspect with bare knuckle boxing, but in boxing, it's basically run away, you know, and be real defensive. Like, how many times has Mayweather been extra aggressive in all of his fights? You know, not too much. He's just running away. If you box me, I'm going to run away too, because I'm not trying to get hit in the face, you know, realistically. But it's boring, you know. Like, I'd rather see someone get kicked in the head, or I see someone get choked out. And I like MMA because these fights last, you know, quick, you know, usually it's over quick. I mean, I don't know the percentage of our cards of the finishes, but there's a lot of finishes, you know, and chances are if it was all boxing, there'd be barely any finishes. You know, even kickboxing, there's way less finishes than there is MMA, you know, because there's always a dominant wrestler or a dominant striker that can, you know, stop a takedown, and that's all she wrote, you know. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I just think I wish MMA fighters got paid more and it'd be more of a higher event for instead of boxing. You know, I mean, I read boxing judges get paid $500,000 a year for like the higher level ones. You know, it's like, really? You know, they need. You know why that's the case? Because there's so many decisions that they need professional guys stopping or figuring out who won, because it was so close, and you know, tallying up every single who was the more aggressive, well, you know, all the points that put into play. I don't know.
It's true. I mean, you know, those boxing matches, of course, championship fights, they're 12-round fights. It used to be 15, now they're 12.
It's 12 3-minute rounds?
12 3-minute rounds.
Yeah.
So it is, scoring is important, of course, because it makes
So it's 36 minutes plus each, it's a minute break?
A minute between each round. Yep.
So it's a minute.
You got 11 minutes in between.
11 minutes.
47 minutes.
Yeah, thanks for the math. I didn't bring my calculator. 47 minutes for a non-knockout fight. Sometimes extra defensive, that these guys didn't do any damage. They look like they just, you know, came out the park, you know. So Holy cow, that's a lot of minutes. Like, I know for even for UFC, for me to wait all the way, which I only want to move to another time zone just so I can watch UFC events earlier, but I'm over here waiting till 1 o'clock, and then it's a 25-minute Mighty Mouse fight, and Demetrius Johnson and him, and the usually smaller guys last longer. It goes 25 minutes. I mean, it might be action-packed, but I'm ready to go to bed. I want to see someone get finished, I don't want to look to the judges, and chances are judges are getting most things wrong recently, especially in the UFC and a lot of other promotions, because these guys aren't actual fighters. These are just, doctors that are bored that get paid to be a judge, No one wants to see that, and that's why boxing sucks, is because it's just all decisions.
Right. Well, again,
I mean, there's actually a few finishes at this last card, but I mean, another bad thing I don't like about boxing is it's really hard to see who's concussed. They might pick him up, they'll shake him, you good? All right, go ahead. Chances are, buddy just got a concussion, but he doesn't want to let his wife and his kids down. He's going to go back in like Rocky and get another concussion. You know what I mean? So they're putting a damper on combat sports by allowing so many. I was impressed during Jake Paul fight. One guy was pretty rocked, and they didn't let him fight when I thought they would let him go. But still, it's harder to not see with bigger gloves. You can get more concussions and not realize it. Just like in tackles, you're not going to see the tackle concussion, but you just got hit by a grown man that's been training to tackle you your whole life. There's concussions. There's helmets that's going to batter. So it's all dangerous, and that's why I think I like MMA too. Just if you're not defending yourself, intelligently, you're out of there, Yeah.
Well, it makes sense. But again, I have to repeat that you watch a lot of the wrong boxing matches. If you're thinking,
I'm going back to the 70s and watching the Muhammad's and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's very few and far between of these good ones. And like, you tell me to watch it all the time, and I'm tuning in, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, people go after the big name fighters. And they want to see that. So people are chasing after the Floyd Mayweather. What's he going to do? Yeah, he's a very defensive-minded fighter. So if you're looking for action and not so much defense, he's not the guy to watch. Mm-hmm. You got to be watching guys that actually have that that ability to be very offensive. The guys like back in the day, those Arturo Gatti, Mickey Ward type battles.
Yeah.
You probably don't know either one of those guys, right?
I played him in a video game, I think.
Okay. But those guys, I mean, they had so many fights between each other because they were just so evenly matched.
Right.
And they were just both such offensive fighters. Guys like that, those kinds of things, or Castillo and who did he used to fight? Corrales and Castillo, those matchups. You watch these kinds of matchups like this, and you'll go, Jesus Christ, I can't watch any more action. Like, I can't, I haven't blinked in 45 minutes. And you see those kinds of things, or even just a couple of rounds that are good. It's worth watching. You just have to know which ones to watch. So it's not the ones that the tabloids.
Can't even make it through a full TV show for 45 minutes. Then
you hope for the knockouts, and you do see them. You get a couple of big knockout artists in there. Somebody's going down.
Yeah.
You watch that kind of thing, that works too. And you got a couple of heavyweight matchups coming up. They're coming up really, really soon. You got Tyson Fury taking on Deontay Wilder for the third time. Both those fights were great. Both fighters had gone down in those fights. Then you got Anthony Joshua taking on Alexander Usyk. And Usyk is just stepping up to heavyweight. He's only a few fights in, but he was a cruiserweight. He's a smaller guy coming in trying to fight an Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua's going to have the reach. He's going to have a height. Who's got the power? It's exciting just to kind of find out a little bit about that and kind of see how it goes. But, good fights. Good fights.
I hope so, Mike. I believe you.
You have to believe me. You have to believe me. But, okay, so other than that, on that fight card, just to wrap that card up real quick, I mean, I know there were actually some real fighters on there. Tommy Fury was on there, right? Tyson Fury's little brother.
I missed that one.
Didn't he knock him out like in the first round?
I missed that. I started pirating like two or three fights in.
Okay. But I know Amanda Serrano was on there. I know her fight went the distance. I heard that was kind of boring, so forth, so on. But, she's not a knockout artist. It's just not the way she's built. But she's a 7-division boxing champion, and she got another win.
Yeah.
She's going to continue to win. She wins her way. That's her way. She may not be that exciting, but she's pulling all the belts. And I guess it's just kind of how it goes, So we talked a little about fight sports. So just real quick before we wrap up, this weekend, we know what's going on, right? You got NFL and college football both starting this weekend.
This weekend? Or is it Thursday? Next Thursday?
Well, next Thursday for NFL, the first NFL game, right?
Yeah.
So college football actually starts this coming weekend.
I had my first fantasy draft yesterday. Went okay.
Yeah.
A little nervous about it, Definitely going to put more mock drafts in before I do my next one.
Yeah.
Yeah. we'll see how it goes. I'm a new Vikings fan with all my Vikings players. So we're going with Cook and we're going with Jefferson, and might as well pick up Cousins and hope the Vikings win 60-0 every game, and I'll be in there for the fantasy football league. So
we'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about football next week after the show and so forth. We'll see how the first college football weekend went.
Right.
We'll get into that sport as well.
Yeah.
We'll go back to UFC. We'll talk about some of the boxing matches that are coming up, and of course, we'll go back once again through our 18-fight card. That I still can't believe is 18 fights. So again, everyone, you want to tune into the fight for sure. If you can come out, buy those tickets on RIZE FC, download the app. If you want to win some prizes next week, you're going to have to download that app anyway. Register for RIZE X, and then go ahead and subscribe to all of our social media platforms. Comment, like them, do as much as you possibly can so your name is out there so we can see you. And again, there's going to be not just one, but several people starting to win prizes here over the next few weeks. We want to get you guys more interactive, and we want you guys to win some prizes and feel like you're getting something out of it. So definitely next week we'll be announcing some winners, and we hope that it's you. So again, that's our show for tonight. We look forward to hopefully seeing you guys out at the fights on September 18th. If not, tune in, watch them through streaming platforms. And next week we'll be talking, the Want to Fight should be released this Friday.
Right.
So look out for that as well. We'll be letting you know about that on social media. And then we'll check in with you guys at that time. So on behalf of Gerardo Ramos, Armando Gonzalez, David Shore, I'm Mike Feinberg. Have a great night. Stay safe, everyone.